Cool, ladies and gentlemen. We are alive, and what's up? 3 days before Classic WoW. Man, who would have thought that we would be here 3 days before launch and just enjoying the moment completely? So, what will we do first? So I have a couple of things that I wanted to do today. I just realized after going live that I need to do a thumbnail for my latest video that is not yet uploaded. Well, that is uploaded, but that is still unlisted on YouTube. So I have that to do eventually. I can do it on stream, and I can do a sort of workshop with you guys just to show you the insider of how I do my thumbnails, because thumbnails are quite an important thing for a YouTube video. Obviously, it's the first thing that people see before they get any info on your video, so we could be doing that. And then I want to go over the latest WoW Classic with creators that was released on the World of Warcraft channel. Kind of a hype trailer that Blizzard released, and then I want to go over some leveling preparation for 1 to 60, and we will do this with the classic WoW.live leveling guide. So for those that just tune in, hello, I have 3 choices. Do you guys want to start with a little thumbnail workshop? Do you want to go with a discussion about the WoW Classic with creators that was released on the World of Warcraft channel, or would you like to go through some leveling prep with the classic WoW.live leveling guide? So I can give you a couple of seconds to give me an idea. If not, if you don't want to, if you don't care, or if you are not saying anything in chat, I will just go with the thumbnail first, because this is what I would need to do. It's kind of important for me to do it, and I don't want to forget it, or because I have quite a tight schedule tonight. So I will give you some time to think about it. So thumbnail channel, thumbnail workshop, thumbnail workshop, the WoW hype trailer kind of thing that we will watch together and we will discuss about it, or classic WoW preparation. In the meantime, I'll just give us some nice ambience music. Wow, ambience music. Oh, yes, okay. And it's working on Twitch as well. Cool. I'm really new to all that, so it's cool to see. Where can I get the Twitch chat, though? Activity feed. Okay, it's right here. Okay, perfect. What music could be cool in the meantime? Classic soundtrack? Why not? Yes, some tavern music. Nice. Okay, so if there isn't anything that has been said in the chat, what I will go and do is just we'll go over a little thumbnail workshop together, guys. Okay. So we open up Photoshop here. This is what I use to make a lot of things for my videos, some props, some thumbnails and stuff like that. So then we will go into create new, and it's really important to understand that the thumbnails, and if you want to have the maximum quality video, you want to have a 16 by 9 ratio. So what I like to do is use a 1280 by 720p. Why don't I go to 1920 by 1080? It's because sometimes if there's a lot of things on the thumbnail, it can be a little bit too big, because when I want to upload it on the classicball.live website, or if I want to upload it on YouTube, it might be a little bit too big. So by having it the right ratio, but a little bit smaller, it just goes around that problem, so we don't run into the problem of having a file that is too big. So here we are. Remember that you want to have a 16 by 9 ratio. If you go with C, you can see here a 16 by 9 ratio. Okay, now my video is about what is it about? Okay, yes, my plans for classic WoW. So then what you want to be doing is go on the internet and look for an image to put as the background. So I don't know, my plans for classic, I don't know, WoW artwork. That's what I like to do. WoW artwork. I'm gonna pull out some nice photos for you, and we might even choose which one we like better. No. Classic WoW artwork, maybe? What would be nice? There's... No, okay, that's the Firelance. What could be cool? I might actually just pull this right here so you guys can see at the same time. It's not too boring. The thing with the thumbnail is that you want to have an image that is the same ratio. For example, this one would be very nice because it's a 1280 by 720 ratio, so you would not have any problems with that. But, I mean, I'm not a horror player, so that really would not work. Interesting. Man, I really like this one over here, but it's for Cataclysm. You know, you want to keep it, so maybe this one? No, that's still for Cataclysm. What I like to do is find some artwork, because then you can have some very nice thumbnails, because it's not as common. I don't know, WoW Alliance artwork, maybe. Can we have some Don Moreau? Oh, interesting. Obviously, I'm going to be a dwarf player, so I mean, it goes with the theme, obviously. Oh, and we're dead. Because of the music, you know. Not a lot of interesting things now. It's funny, when I'm not recording, obviously, I find my image like this, and I can get to working. That would be nice if we didn't have Don Roll there. Maybe Ironforge. Ironforge artwork. This one is too small. By the way, funny thing, this is the thumbnail I used for the stream, so I don't want to reuse it necessarily. But the funny thing that I learned not too long ago is that Ironforge was first designed to have 2 levels. Did you guys know that? But eventually they dropped the idea because it was too complicated. Imagine Ironforge with 2 levels. You have the main one with like the throne room and stuff like that, and then you would have another one on top of that. That would have been insane. So I mean, right now you have a good idea of what it is to create some content. Sometimes, I mean, it's a lot of work. What the heck? It's a lot of work to put into. I mean, especially if you want to be, if you're a perfectionist like me. There's a lot of work that goes into it, so. Full resolution, okay, screw that. You know what, just to make things faster, I'll just reuse the same one. I mean, screw that. Okay, so then you copy the image and then you paste it here. And we've seen that it's the right size, so it fits perfectly. If ever, you know, it was like not the right size and it you know, it's not going with the full length, you can always try to maybe merge some pictures together. Maybe, just if I can show you, maybe have another picture that is over here, you know, in the black area. Okay, you know what I mean? So you can merge it and you can do something cool, but other than that, I always try to have the right size, or to have two images that are the right size, and then I can really do some interesting work with it. So okay, that's what I like to start with, and we can delete background, so we have the background of our image right here. Then what's important to have, obviously, open document. I'm just gonna, hey, nice. Colony we build. That's another one. Okay. What I like to put in is the World of Warcraft Classic tag on it, so it's obviously, it's obvious that we are on a World of Warcraft Classic video. So yeah. Normally, if you are used to watching my videos, you'll see that I would normally put like a little frame of color around, and I can show you how to do this. So you select your layer that is at the bottom, which is the, you know, to a 1280 by 720 pixels, and then you add a layer over here on top of it. Then you press Control. And then you see it. You go over the layer thumbnail, and you see the little square appears. You click on it, and then it will select everything that is inside of that layer. So you press Delete. Oh, sorry, on the layer. When you press Delete, it deletes everything. But now you want to go on the layer that you just created. Go up here, Edit, Stroke, and then you can choose how wide you want it. Normally, I go with 10. Oh. Screw it up here. Okay, normally I go with 10, and then you can choose the color. Normally I choose a color that matches the main color of the thumbnail, so let's say a blue like that, yes. And obviously you don't want it to appear on the outside, because it's going to be outside of the thumbnail, obviously, because we are on the edge, and you want to select inside, 10 pixel in the color, and then boom. This is how you get a little frame of color all around your thumbnail that is going to be the same width all around. But since I already have, you know, a very large frame like this that matches with the symbol of the Iron Forge, I don't want to put that there. Okay, so now obviously if you just keep it that way, it's a little bit bland. So what I would want to have with that is some text and maybe something else after, but I will go with the text first. So you press your T, you can click here, or just press T for the shortcut, and then it gives you a text layer. And here you have the type text layer properties, so you can choose the font. There's many different fonts that you can choose from, and you can even import your own font, well, download your own font from the internet. And I mean, most of the fonts here are going to be the ones that you already have in Microsoft Word and stuff like that. But if you want the font that is used by WoW when you read quest logs and stuff like that, it's the Fritz Quadrata STD. So I can say, you can see anything, maybe white, hello everyone. So you see it has the same font as the one that is used in World of Warcraft, so that's why I like to have it. But you always want to think about your thumbnail as, you know, a very small icon. I mean, right now, yes, it's nice, it's big, and you know, you could really go into some details and put some stuff here, and go into subliminal stuff, and maybe put some nice artwork that is kind of hidden. But at the same time, you always want to remember that your thumbnail is not going to be seen any bigger than that, you know. So if you want to put things, you want them to be well seen. You want them to be big enough so that it's can be seen quite easily. So that's why this font is not necessarily the best one to go for. So recently I downloaded another one, which is Bebas New, which is a completely different. Hey, Bebas New. Then if I say hello everyone, you can see that they are all in caps kind of thing. So from afar it's easier to see. So that's what I like to use for the title of the thumbnail, because what you put on the thumbnail will incite people to click on your video, obviously. So now it's my plan for Classic WoW. So my plans for Classic WoW. Then you can move around with the V key, or this one over here, the move tool. My plans. Okay, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna increase the size to maybe 150. Hey. 150, then obviously it's going to be quite big. So my plans for Classic WoW, but I don't want it centered, I want it, you know, a regular. So my plans for Classic WoW. Maybe we could delete that, my plans for, and then start another text layer. Delete that one. Another text layer for the other one, Classic WoW, so the text can obviously be separated like that. So that's pretty well centered here and here. Because that's the thing, whatever the background you want to choose, in my opinion, I want it to be able to show, you know, behind the text. You don't want all of your text to cover this the symbol over here, because otherwise, why did you choose that photo, obviously? But I mean, the background, it's fine. I mean, you see most of it already, and you can still you know, differentiate what's in the back, even if there's a lot of front in the foreground. So that's why I don't want to hide that. So there's some. Hi, the echo is real. Yes, Pablo Chele. Just gonna lower the volume just a little bit. Okay. So my plans for Classic WoW. So that's very nice already, but you know, here, all over here, it's empty. So what could we use? Maybe, because here, okay, yes, I have. Oh yes, I want to have my Classic WoW tag. ClassicWoW.live tag. I just want to get it out. Maybe put it over here, because I support this community and it's a very nice one. And you know, they help me grow, so I help them back by tagging it. And I mean, I don't feel like it's an obligation. I'm more than happy to do so. Okay, but I mean, it's kind of missing something right over here, you know, in the middle. We could be using something. Because I'm going to be doing a paladin and a hunter, so interesting. Is there some paladin artwork? Maybe we can get a nice photo or nice something. Or wait, dwarf paladin artwork. There isn't much. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same one that I used for the thumbnail of the stream, but I'm gonna show you actually how to do it. So just whatever. Hey, open doc. Thank you very much. Stream. Then, okay, so this and this, so the layer, and then the brightness and color contrast adjustment that I did to this layer, I'm gonna copy paste it right over here. I'm actually going to, okay, I'm going to put that in the corner. And I'm going to, okay, I'm going to put that right over here. And then I'm going to have to move the classic WoW tag. Or I'm going to put it over the layer. Boom. That's even better. But now I need to change this over here. So the V tool to move the text layer. My plans for classic WoW. How does that look from afar? Classic WoW with the paladin. That's nice. So let's just delete this layer, or you already see that it's different. So how do you make this brightness and contrast layer? So it's important to press Control, then go over here in the little layer thumbnail, because if I release Control, you see that the little hand in the corner, the bottom right here, doesn't have the little square beside it. But now when I do, it does show it. So what that does is that it selects everything that is inside that layer. Because if I don't do that and I just select it and go into Adjustment, Brightness, and I start working on that, it's going to adjust the brightness and the contrast of the whole of everything that is on the screen. So that's not what we want, obviously. So we will delete that, Control Select, not here where it says layer 7, but really on the little rectangle here. Select everything that is inside the layer, then we go into Adjustment and Brightness and Contrast. So I always start with the brightness, and then I go 10, Shift, and then the up and down arrows on the keyboard. So 10, 20, 30, and then you can see that, you can go up to 150, which is obviously way too much. But you want to pick a in-between level. 50 seems to be nice. Then if you want to see what it looks like without it, you can just click on the little eye to close it. So that's what it looked like before, that's what it looks like with. So from far, okay, it's a little bit too much. We'll just bring it down to maybe 30. Okay, that's good. Then with the contrast, you do the same thing. I always try to increase it rather than decrease it, because if you decrease it, it just makes it a lot more bland. That's not what you want to do. You want to really make the colors pop out. So 10, 20, you can see there's a little bit of difference, obviously, between the 100 and then the 0. There's a lot of difference. So you add a lot more character to the image. That pops out a lot. Maybe 70, something like that. You obviously you use it and you use what you want, and depending on the image, sometimes you might want to do the opposite. If you're doing like a shadow priest or a warlock build or a guide, and then you want to make a thumbnail because of that, and you have a quite bright image of a warlock, but you want to have a sort of deep shadowy forest background, and then you want to have a warlock on top of that, well, you want to adjust the brightness to match the darkness of the background, obviously, so you can really use and configure it to your needs. So, and that's the same thing here for the classic tag. Here you see that it's a lot, I like the blue a lot better in this one than here it seems to be a little bit erased, if I may say. Here it seems really vibrant and full of color. So that seems not too bad. I mean, there's kind of something that I would like to add. Maybe the kind of the same thing with the paladin, but for a hunter. But that would take a lot of time. But anyways, okay, we'll just I'll just save the work, and I might finish it later, but I just want to give you an idea of how I do it. So okay, this layer 5 has nothing, so we can delete it. So obviously if you want to keep the My Plans for Classic WoW and you want to keep it only one color, you really want to keep it white, that's completely fine. But because right now, even if it's a small thumbnail here, everything that you see on screen is quite, you can differentiate that, this seems to be, dumber when Ironforge, even though the Classic WoW here is over it, and you clearly see the insignia or the logo or the emblem of the art of Ironforge. You see Classic WoW, obviously. You see the dwarf and then the Classic WoW.live tag, so everything is fine. But if you want to put some colors and you really want to make the text on your layer or on your thumbnail really pop out, listen to this. So find your 2 or your 1 or however many text layers that you have here, and then make sure that you select the one that is the highest one in the list, and then add a layer on top of it. Whenever you add a layer, it's always going to be over the layer that is selected. So if I select this one, that is the second one, and I create one, now the new layer is the second one in the list, and the one that we selected just before is in third row. But you can always click and then drag it up and down wherever you need. So make sure that you have a layer over the text. Now control click the text, and now you see here that it selects the text. Now control and shift again, so you see if you release the control, there's only the little hand. If you press control, there's the little square, and then if you press control and shift at the same time, you have the square with the little plus in the middle of it. So now you want to select the other layer of text, okay? Then you want to go here at the top, edit, stroke, and just like we did earlier for the border inside the thumbnail, we'll be doing the same thing. So again, a width of about 10 or so it's what I like to go for. Then you can really select your color. You can or turquoise, you can go with the really vibrant green. You can use to have it really saturated or really not saturated, but what I like to use is black for the outline. Now obviously, out of that selection that we made, we don't want the stroke to be inside. We don't want it to be in the center. We want it to be outside. So it really makes a big difference. I don't know why it increased, but okay, 10. And then boom, you already see that it highlights, well, not highlights, but it makes all the border of the text, and it's nice and clean and equal everywhere. So you can play with the width, obviously, of the stroke, but I like to have it set to 10. But obviously, if you want to do this, make sure that your text is where you want it to be, because then if you move the text, well, the stroke layer is not moving with the text, especially if you have 2 different layers. If you want to move everything, a little bit more to the center, down, up, left, or right, you have to select everything. So shift click, and then you can use your move tool here, V, and then you can move it around, and that's going to be fine. But if you want to move Classic WoW, but My Plans 4 is fine, but you want to move Classic WoW down here, you will have to delete the layer and then recreate it. So Control Shift, and then you just go through the same process. Everything is already like we want, and enter. Okay, so now just Control Alt Z just to bring it back. So this is what I want, but then I want to make it pop a little bit more, because white is nice, because in this scenario obviously it pops out with the dark gray and the gray that are on the side. But if you have a thumbnail that is quite bright and you want to make a big contrast of color, and you don't want to have it only red or something, only one color, that's how you can really make things pop a lot, and you can really get a lot of attention, because it's going to be a lot more eye-catching. So you come down here, bottom right, FX. There's a lot of different things that you can work with, but I like to do gradient overlay. Now here, you go here, and then you have a few that are already pre-selected or pre-made, and then you can even do yours. So let's say you want to have it, let's say you don't want to have this, although it really already looks very nice, but let's say you want to make it, I don't know, from dark red to light blue, let's say. So you click here on this little square, and then in the color, we say dark red. So we'll go over here, maybe something like that. You know, it's a nice color. Then you already see that it does the green from dark red to the yellow that we used earlier. Now you click on the other little square at the other end over here, and then you press color, and then a light blue. So let's say you want to use, I don't know, this. I mean, it doesn't look the best, but if that's what you want to look, if that's what you want to go for, that's fine. And the little lozenge, little shape in the middle indicates how much of one color is there going to be compared to the other one. So where do you want the colors to start mixing together? So obviously, if you want to have 50-50, you put it towards the middle, here location, and if you want a lot of red but not a lot of blue, if you want to have a lot of red but not a lot of blue, you bring it more towards 100%, and so on and so forth. So you can go for that, and then you can even add, you know, other colors. You can have another color right here in the middle. Let's see, you want to have it, I don't know, some kind of purple. Boom. So then it goes from red to purple to blue. So you can add a lot of colors, but just for the sake of this video, we'll just keep it like this. We'll just keep the pink and the blue. And then, so you have your gradient color. Then you have obviously the opacity. Do you want to have it, you know, just really light, or do you want to have it, you know, 100%? I would, unless you're really used to using Photoshop, you know, keep the blend mode to normal. And then here reverse just, you know, makes it in reverse, and then you have multiple different ways. You can do linear, which is from, you know, top to bottom. You have radial, which is, you know, in shape of a circle, from the center to the edges. Oh, whoops. And then you have an angle, so you can work with the angle over here. So you can have, you know, the top right one color, and then the bottom left the other color, and stuff like that. Oops, 100, and then angle reflected at 90 degrees, makes it, you know, from the top to the middle, and then from the middle to the bottom. So you can really play with the colors, and you can really have easily a nice touch to your thumbnail. But for now, we're just gonna wrap up and go for the next part of it. So we'll just do a linear. Okay, thank you very much. And then for the other one, we will do just the same thing. Effects, gradient overlay with the same things, okay? So that's pretty much how you do a thumbnail. I've, you know, used a lot of time to go over this, but, you know, I think it's important just to share with you, and I had to do it. So I have most of my stuff that is ready. I'm probably gonna add another little photo of a dwarf hunter right over here in the middle, and then I'm going to add it to my the video that I posted that is unlisted, and then I'm going to make it public. So before you leave, don't remember, save your work. I don't know, just latest vid. Okay, boom, caps lock, boom. So it's the same thing, but it doesn't really matter. Boom. Okay. Cool. Only 2 watching here, and then 1 on the Twitch. Perfect. So, Pablo Celli, since you're the only one that has talked in chat, what do you want for the next segment? Do you want to go over a classic WoW preparation with the classic WoW.live leveling guide, or do you prefer do you want us to go over the WoW Classic with creators, and then we watch it together, and then we can talk about it, or I can give my opinion at some segments and when I feel like it? If you're still here, obviously. Or, I mean, I'm saying Pablo Celli. If the other person watching wants to give the input, I mean, definitely feel free to do so. But since Pablo Celli is the only one that was in the chat last time, that's why I'm talking to him. Wait, notification, you're calling for it's happening in 3 more. I'm gonna give you a few seconds here. If not, I'm just gonna go with the World of Warcraft video, because I mean there's always time. Wait, tomorrow or Saturday? Yeah, I'm going to make it tomorrow. I'm going to go through the leveling aspect if I don't have the time, because I have time until 6 or so another 45 minutes or so. Okay, so that's we're gonna go over the WoW Classic with creators. Let's make it roll. World of Warcraft Collector's Edition. Man.
I don't think I knew what we were making as we were developing WoW. I didn't know what all the systems in this game were supposed to be. All I knew was that we were building something huge and amazing and beautiful. When I was hired onto the World of Warcraft,
Killer, original 3 artist.
It was under the title of 3D artist.
I was hired on as an
Frasayabi? That's him. Do you guys remember the quest in Light's Hope Chapel where you need to go into Stratholme? You need to go and it's Frasayabi's smoke shop, and you need to go and get the little dwarf's lighter. Oh, that's where it comes from.
associate quest designer.
So I joined World of Warcraft
Jeff Kaplan,
as one of
okay,
the
yeah.
original first 2 quest designers. It was myself and Pat Nagel.
My name is Patrick Nagel. I started working at Blizzard in...
Pat Nagel? Nat Pagel? No way! That's where it comes from. Oh. Imagine having a character that is pretty much you in game. Because Nat Pagel, it's the fisherman. It's the renowned fisherman. I wonder if Pat Nagel loves fishing. Or it just happened to be, what he chose at that moment. Nat Pagel, Pat
in
Nagel.
1997.
My name is Tom Chilton, and the first
Chilton.
game I worked on here at Blizzard was World of Warcraft.
Woo! All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Look at this.
Onyxia by the end of the play session?
Yeah, we got this.
Do I need to go back?
Vaguely remember.
What? A human? Over the Horde. Character selection. Or character creation screen.
What is it? What is this template thing, and do I need to worry
Seems
about
fishy.
it? Alex?
You guys, dude, we're
It's the worst.
you never forget your first thing, as it were, that you add to the game. You just don't.
I can't say I really remember.
The first quest I made was Kobold Camp Cleanup.
Bingle's lost tools, or I believe it's called Bingle's missing supplies.
I feel like, man, I really should have remembered that.
So the very first thing that I worked on and added to the game was some of the earliest quests in Westfall.
We had a few things in game. They were like these really old buildings that somebody else had built, and it almost looked like they had just pulled them out of Warcraft 3. And so I started working on the Goldshire Inn.
Beautiful.
Deliver some mail to a sheriff. So that's what we're doing right now.
Are you reading the note that Marshall McBride gives you?
I think I read.
I'm gonna tell you guys. Sorry for pausing so many times, but I strongly recommend you, if you have the time. Obviously, if you're in for the money, you just want to get to 60 as fast as possible. You might not have the time or the luxury to go through these kind of notes, but go through Marshall McBride's document. Go through the books or the notes and other types of lore and flavor items like this, because there's a lot of things that you get to know, and it just increase the immersion in the game. I mean, one of my favorite flavor item like this is the book that you get in Darkshire after you kill Morladim. And for all the Alliance player in the chat, if you know what I'm talking about, but you receive a book along with his sword. I think it's his daughter that gives you the book. I don't really remember, but you realize that, you know, Morladim is not just this level whatever 35 elite roaming around the north of Raven Hill and just, you know, destroying you if you're not being careful of where you go inside the graveyard of Raven Hill. But I mean, you read through that book that it's a man, I think it was sort of a paladin or something, or he was kind of a Stormwind soldier. He went to war, or he went somewhere. He went away from Ravenhill or Darkshire. I think it's Ravenhill. And when he comes back, he realized that his wife and his children have been slaughtered. And then he goes mad. And then, you know, he is never seen again. It's something along those lines. Well, I mean, it just adds to all the story and all the quest line that you go through. So I really, you know, the other guy's like, hey, you really read through all of this. I mean, I would strongly recommend that you do so. I mean, some items are kind of very ephemeral because they only last, you know, from, you know, there's, I don't know, the dude in Lakeshire asks you to deliver a note to the King of Stormwind, but you only have it in between you picking up the quest and then you turning in the quest at the Stormwind Keep. But I mean, if you have the time to read what's in those, I mean, I would strongly suggest that you do, because there's a lot of flavor, and it adds to the fantasy of the world. I don't know why I need to have that down.
Wrote it.
You probably did.
Probably in all caps with crayon.
The way that we went about it was interesting and very naive.
Oh my god.
Because we didn't know what we were really making then.
Oh
We had an
boy,
idea
old
what we
images
wanted to
from, like,
make, but the reality would
2003.
become clear as we got into alpha.
That was the way some of the development on that project went. But the team was just so into everything
Wait,
that
wait,
some of
wait.
the development on that project went.
Let's just take some time to enjoy, like, the genesis of World of Warcraft. Damn.
But the team was just so into everything that we were doing. We were so passionate about it that sometimes you would just come up with an idea, and you thought it was great about
Wait.
it. That sometimes you would just come up with an idea.
Huh, since you're the party leader, you used to have, like, the dragon around your portrait. Mago Valley. Your skills and defenses has increased to 10. Defensive stance. You have reached level 3, has increased defensive stance. Damn.
And you thought it was great, and you would just do it.
Working on a lot of different things at the same time was, of course, a challenge too. There were the talents, there was the class design, there was the auction house, there was PvP.
Oh, he's pretty ballsy to go against a Skull in PvP. Terran Nil. Oh, sorry.
There was
Damn.
like a lot of different stuff going on at once.
I think it was the first time I've seen a group of human beings so singularly motivated and passionate about anything in my life.
I think they really just wanted to make a massively multiplayer role-playing game that they wanted to play. And I mean, that's what I got, you know, from it, and that's why I wanted to join.
You guys remember when we had to do these quests? I literally freaked about this because I was like, it was one of my first like you must do this, and I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, it's got to be amazing. And so like, I'm gonna name this guy something awesome.
Vulcan Isengard.
Right?
It's like Isengard and Strad.
Everybody's planning. We are planning our WoW Classic experience right now. And so we're trying to decide, do we want to be Horde or Alliance? You know, I was always the main tank. My wife was the main healer. Do we want to do that again? Or do we want to
Classic
switch it up?
combo.
Ironically enough, I go through some of the same like considerations about what character class to play. Like, all those same questions that were bubbling around in my head 15 years ago are bubbling in my head again, and there doesn't feel like there's an absolutely right answer, which It's probably a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to go through the Dead Mines with them as well. I mean, it was like, I think it was the first dungeon we ever made. It had a great story.
We are waiting for you.
You're in the
Man, this is nice to see that the people on the development of the game are actually planning to play the game. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh yeah, we're making this game and we have no idea how the game works and we have no idea about game mechanics and stuff. But we'll just make a game and it has some the principles of making money because it's time gated content, or you can get some loot boxes here and there and you have some pop-ups of you have a seasonal bonus of like 15% off this diamond bundle or some bullshit. It's nice to see that the developers are playing the game, because man, I think that we don't have a lot of those nowadays.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Well, not
No,
the
we
dungeon itself.
Okay, yeah, we're.
The public.
Oh, there we go. Jeff's going. Oh, I went the wrong way.
How did people ever figure this out?
It's kind of bittersweet to think about playing the game again, because there was
My
something
God.
so special when it launched, and I can only hope that as I play it again, it can reignite that sense
Oh man,
of
it will.
exploration
It
and
will.
discovery and the sense of the unknown.
And at some point during
Don't worry.
gameplay, it's like whatever that initial thing was that grabbed you the first time.
A little note: did you know that in the first idea, or in the first version of the game before they actually released it, that you see someone with a torch, you used to have a survival skill, a little bit like cooking skill, where you could make some torches and it would light the area around you, because areas like Duskwood would really be like very, very dark, and you would probably not even see what was a few yards in front of you if you didn't have those torches. So this is really a fragment of the past. I mean, we're talking about like the genesis of World of Warcraft, and I read that the other day and I thought it was very cool.
And 15 years ago, it just kind of grabs you again.
I need heals. I need heals.
I don't have it.
The villagers, boom! It's just getting melted.
There's the pillagers.
I still feel like so much of the magic is here in the game, and I wasn't actually expecting that. Yeah, how much it holds up, and how much of the things that kind of drew me into the game are still there.
But
Wait, did you guys get the sheep? Dude,
for me, it goes past the playing, the nostalgia that you get of playing the content, and it takes me to another time of a younger me in a different mindset even.
I remember during development the first time that I took a griffin ride, and I'll never forget that experience of realizing that everything that I was flying over was real and connected, and it was this world for me to explore.
I go back to a quote from Chris Metzen. Chris always said that the main character of World of Warcraft is the world. Something that WoW Classic had
God, he
that was so important to the original experience was sense of world.
Yeah.
You had to run everywhere, so it really made you think about
How did you
travel,
go so
and
wrong,
pacing.
Blizzard?
One of the reasons
Seriously.
WoW is so successful is that the world itself really draws you in, and there's so much character, especially in those early zones.
There was so much creative energy and passion that it made up for some of the inexperience sometimes. Everybody on the team so ardently desired to create the coolest possible thing that they could, and every day we went into work and we poured our heart and souls into the project, and I think that's the reason it came together and into the game that it is today.
There you go. You
Such
said
a,
it.
like, degree of fidelity that, like, millions of people could potentially, many millions of people could potentially come and play this thing that really changed us as developers, changed us as a company.
I'm really excited. There's going to be a bunch of people who've never played World of Warcraft before.
Yeah.
They're going to get to experience pretty much what
Yes.
somebody a generation before them did and have that magical moment.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I think we should keep it hard like this, and the people who want to do it, it's just gonna be a really fun way to play WoW.
I think there's something to be said for going home again, which is something that we don't get in our lives
Going
on a
home
normal
again.
basis. I think that's a special and exceedingly rare thing to be able to do. And I think that WoW Classic gives those people that opportunity to experience again what home feels like.
Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's just go through the comments here. Kobold camp cleanup, the slaughterhouse of the Elming Forest. Man, that's just so true, isn't it? When you just stomp those kobold, man. There's always a joy, you know, of stomping kobolds. I mean, it never gets old. For me, man, it's the NPCs. A lot of people, for them, it's Murlocs, but for me, man, it's kobold. I love just to stomp those. The main characters of the world, going home again, man. Definitely. Thank you for sharing memories and insight on the game. Man, that's nice to see that the original creators are coming back. And, you know, they are making sure that the game is in good hand. I mean, that's... Oh my god, it was such a relief when they announced that those people would be the ones working on the game. I mean, man. This is content people want. Just a bunch of balding boomers, guys loving their game. Ah, it's the world medicine, man. Medicine. I was there 15 years ago. The WoW killer turned out to be WoW. Straight up, man. Remember the words, guys. You think you do, but you don't. Man, was he so wrong. That's nice that we can prove him wrong. It was really nice to watch. I think there's another one that they released. We'll just go over it together, then we can do some leveling preparation. I think you guys will enjoy that. What? Hold on. Didn't I receive a notification there was something else? Or maybe in the history. What? There was one with the... Mr. Allen. What the heck? Not Allen, but what? Hold on a second. No, Mr. No, maybe I'm... No. Aaron Keller. Was it? Yeah, I'm mixing up the name. Yeah, okay, yes. Why isn't it... Well, why isn't it showing on their site?
My name is Aaron Keller.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Sorry for the noobness.
My name is Aaron Keller. I started at Blizzard in September of 2001. The first game I worked on at Blizzard was World of Warcraft. I was on the team that designed and built dungeons and cities. The producer of the dungeon group came into our office one day and he wanted to assign out the different dungeons and cities for the entire project. And we just wrote them all up on a whiteboard. Everybody just kind of went around and they would start picking what they wanted to do. And no one had picked any of the cities, and so I picked Stormwind. I'm like, I want to build Stormwind. And then it went around and everybody was picking different dungeons. I get to pick another city, and so I just kind of kept picking cities up there. And so I kind of became like the city guy. I remember the first day that we put Stormwind into the game, we put this little Easter egg in for the team. When you ran into it, it would play, "We built this city on rock and roll." And you just hear, "We built this city on rock and roll," and pretty soon it's like the whole office, it's playing everywhere. So cool. There was something so special when it launched. I played in a group with my wife, and one of my good friends, and my cousin, and one other person. This was before I had kids. This was a long time ago. Now I have kids, and they love playing video games, so I can recreate that original group with my wife and my kids. and I
Man.
can take other people through this experience and kind of watch it
I would
through their eyes
love
and have
it.
them see this amazing living world for the first time. That's what I'm excited about.
Oh my god. Jeff episode. Trillion Tales, Classifier Killer. Skull, like the original file. Okay, so I made you wait long enough, guys. We'll have even people leaving the chat, but it's fine. Now, we talk about leveling preparation, launch preparation, guys. This is going to be something quite important, especially for me. I mean, if you want to just take your time and enjoy life and just go on with the game and just, smell the roses and take your time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, I actually encourage you to take the time to enjoy every little aspect of the game. Like I said, you want to read the notes and the books that you have to take from one NPC to another, because there's a lot of richness inside of those, and I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy those. Obviously, read the quest logs if you can. Just explore the world for what it is. Enjoy the game for what it is, because it is truly a masterpiece. But on the other hand, if you already live that, and if you really want to have an edge over most other people and you want to get ahead of the pack on launch date, I mean, definitely ClassicWoW.live is going to be a very good resource. I mean, before you had to go into leveling to access the leveling guide, but now you just need to go to HTTPS. Just boom, there it is. I put it in the chat. Just go there and you will enjoy all the features that this content has to bring you, and you will get the first thing that you will see when you arrive on the site is going to be the leveling guide. I would assume for the first month or so, then it's probably going back to what it was, maybe with the guides in the first page. But I mean, there's obviously a lot of resources that you can get. I mean, the complete fishing guide by Teledrill, and this man is insane. I mean, let's just take a second. Have you ever seen a fishing guide that big? Let's just go through it. Let's just go through it, guys. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're getting to the end, guys. Finally, have you ever seen a fishing guide that long? Probably not. I mean, you probably have some people on the internet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the others, but I mean, maybe just going, you need to fish this, and this. But I mean, there's a lot of very good stuff on there. But now let's talk leveling. So obviously, the ClassicWoW.live leveling guide is an awesome tool. I mean, first of all, it's free. There are some other guides on the internet out there that, first of all, are quite old, especially compared to this one. They are, maybe 100 IQ, which is not bad, but I mean, with this one, we're talking like 200, 300 IQ stuff. I mean, you will see, we'll go through it, from a level 1 to 15, 1 to 20, you will just see the power of this leveling guide. I mean, it's just fantastic. And like I said, it's free. Some of the guys out there, maybe they charge for you. They charge you for that. And I mean, that's that's kind of whack, I mean, in my opinion. But I mean, whatever. I mean, we're all on a grind, and if that works for them and they can get a little money on the side, that's cool for them. But I mean, if you don't want to spend any money, if you want to have the best tools at your disposal, completely free, this is the tool that you need to have. So, as always, big shout out to Navik and Egregious. I mean, those guys are fantastic levelers. I mean, they've shown time and time again that they know their stuff. And when you will go through all of that leveling guide, you will see that, man, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, first of all, you can choose your faction. Alliance or Horde, boom. Let's go with Alliance. because this obviously is going to be what I'm going to go for. Then you can choose the group of the size of your group. I mean, if you want to go solo, duo, or trio. Let's just go dual leveling. Let's say a dwarf paladin, which is me, and let's say a normal warlock for some, amazing leveling experience. Then something that they added recently that was not there last time I talked about this leveling guide is really important is to choose your levels. So at first they had only released 1 to 15 or so for the stress test that happened earlier in August this month, but now I'm pretty sure that they have released everything up to level 60, and now you can really choose at what level you're at. So if on the first day of launch you get to level 15, well, obviously you don't have to restart like it used to be from 1, and then you need to skip step on up until you reach level 15. You can really just, you're at level 15, click level 15, you're at level 46, you click level 46, and then it gets you there already. But since, we are only level 1, let's just start leveling. So I'm just going to go with you over that, and I mean, this is something that I will be doing, this is something that I have been doing today, is just to go over what steps there are in this leveling guide, just to get to know, especially if I'm solo leveling, just get to know what to expect, when to expect it, and I mean just get a little edge over everybody else that are just going to take this leveling guide and are going to try to make sense out of it on launch day. So definitely something that you want to do is prepare yourself ahead. So obviously here you have 2 steps. You have to pick up a quest, and the best thing about it is that you have the coordinates and then you have the level requirements. So I mean, every time you click on something, not on the blue text but anywhere else, it will give you a little drop down menu, and you're going to get some information. Sometimes it can be some notes about the quest or the step that they are telling you to do, and sometimes it's just going to be like coordinates and then the level required. So let's say you pick up the quest and then you complete the quest or an outburst. I mean, it's quite simple. Then you go into next step, and then you will see that there is many different icons for the different tasks that you have to do. So when you hand in a quest, it's a little question mark, so it keeps things organized. And then you have a little exclamation mark when it's picking up a quest, and then if it's a class-specific quest, you will have the little colored rectangle here at the left. So obviously, a paladin is going to be pink, warlock is going to be purple, warrior is going to be brown, and so on and so forth. When you need to vendor, this is one of the best things that are in this leveling guide, because I've used another leveling guide. Is it Sage's leveling guide for Alliance? I don't remember, but I don't want to put the blame on him, but if it's not him, but I mean, on the leveling guide that I was using, there was nothing about when to repair, and especially like what type of items to keep for later. So I mean, this is one of the things that this leveling guide is doing absolutely well. So it tells you, it reminds you when to vendor, because sometimes you have so many things. You want to make sure you get from one place to the other as fast as possible. You have a lot of competition, especially in the early zones, and eventually if you don't have as much time to play as the other players, if you were ahead at one point but then other people are trying to catch up to you, you have to really make your way out and compete with other people. So sometimes you can just forget to vendor, or you can forget to repair stuff. So it's really important just to get a reminder about those things and when to buy some sort of a food or water, and this guide tells you just that. So obviously it's going to be fantastic. So yes, and there's, like I said, there's other icons, and when you put your cursor on one, and then it shows you where that you can get the stuff done. So it's really nice, and one of my favorite tools about it is the zoom on the map. So you can have both a global view and then a more precise view of the area that you are at this moment. So this is a very important, it's a nice utility aspect to this guide that other guides don't have. They just show you, um, a map of the region you're in, and they might be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you don't have as much depth in the what it can really do for you. So then you go through it, and then again, a complete quest, progression quest. You have the crossed swords, and it's really nice. I mean, this is what I would really suggest for you guys to do. Just go through it and have an idea of, okay, a new threat. What is this quest again? Okay, oh yeah, the one where you need to kill, a rockjaw and burly rockjaw trogs. Okay, and then blah blah blah, and then this and then this. So at launch, when you go and you see, okay, troll cave, you'll remember which one it is. You don't have to say Frostmane troll whelps. What are those again? You can really get on the ground running at launch day. This is going to be absolutely mandatory if you want to get ahead. If you don't care all that much, that's fine. But I mean, if you really want to get the most out of this leveling guide, this is obviously something that you can do. Just go over it from now on to launch day. Maybe just go through the first level, or maybe go from like maybe 1 to 40 twice or something, just to remember, okay, yes, that's where I need to go at that point, and so on and so forth. And then it tells you when to heart, where to set your heart. This is in other leveling guides as well, but just the fact that the way it is presented is such a better way. And then it reminds you when to train, and then you train at level 7 for the paladin, and then you train at level 10 for the warlock. Now you train, step 10, but you train at level 4, for both the paladin and the warlock and so on. And the beauty of it is that, okay, you're good with the first starting zone, but you know what, you remember at about level 9, you don't really remember what to do at that point, boom. Another fantastic tool, it tells you when to start finding group for a certain elite quest, for certain dungeons, and so on and so forth. So that's very nice. Another thing, they tell you where you can go to get some shortcuts. And then I'm gonna just tells you when to get flight pass, so you can really see at a quick glance what is there to be done. North Gate Pass, I just want to show you. First of all, it tells you when to die, because the wormhole that you can use to get from one place to the other when you die are absolutely fantastic. Because obviously when you die, especially in a zone, you will get to the closest graveyard that is in the zone. So right here you are at the North Gate Pass, and then you need to turn in quests into Caranos. But if you go from North Gate Pass up down to Caranos, that's like 10 minutes of walk almost, or at least 5. Well, what happens is that if you die there, I mean, you will res at Caranos, and because you're level 10, you only get like, what, 30 seconds of spirit sickness, res sickness, sorry. So you can really get the most out of those, out of that dying strategy at first, especially before level 10. You don't have any res sickness, so if you die somewhere and it's calculated, you will get either to Coleridge Valley or to Caranos, because I think those are the 2 only graveyards in Don Moreau, although I could be wrong. I don't remember if there's not one near Ironforge. I think it's only Coleridge Valley and then Caranos. So I mean, you can really teleport yourself or fast travel from one place to another by dying. Especially if you have done all the quests in this area, and then you have a couple of quests to turn in at Caranos, or you need to go to Ironforge. Obviously, walking down from Northgate Pass to Ironforge takes a while. You just die, you teleport to Caranos, you res, you will get 30 seconds of rest sickness. I mean, it will take you like, what, 2 minutes to get to Ironforge. It's gonna be over real quick. So, when I'm talking about like 200, 300 IQ stuff, this is what I'm talking about. Some of the leveling guides, or the leveling guide that I've been using up until now, I mean, it didn't tell me about stuff like that. It told me, the order of the quests and stuff like that, but never have I seen awesome information like that, just to help you, shave off some valuable minutes out of that. I mean, out of your leveling experience is absolutely fantastic. So then Spirit Res, boom, at Keranos, you're already there. But I want to show you something. I mean, I knew about that before, but it just showed me exactly. Okay, now because of the dual leveling, I mean, it tells you to craft some stuff for your Warlock. I mean, lesser ones are going to be absolutely crucial for the leveling if you're a caster, if you're a mage, if you're a priest, if you're a Warlock. I mean, you want to get that lesser magic one ASAP. Blah 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 blah. I mean, there's a lot more steps right now because Stormwind down one level. Because I want to show you, I mean, it's a nice way to. Okay, that's before then. Yes, there it is. Okay, I skipped it. Did you guys know that from Ironforge, well, I mean, if you want to go to the wetlands, which is, obviously, like, about over here. Menethil Harbor would be about where my mouse here is, or so. There's the classic way of just going from Ironforge, walking, maybe using a flight path to Loch Madan, to Thelsamar, which is about where the little hand here is. Then you need to go from the north to the north of the wetlands, to the north of Loch Madan. Then you need to get, there's a little path in the mountains, and then you need to go all the way through the wetlands. At what level are they asking you to go? Maybe like 12 or something to get to Aberdeen? At level 12, you go through wetlands, you're gonna get fucked. I mean, the monsters over there are like level 20 something. So you need to go all the way across the path to get to Menethil Harbor. It takes a while, it's frustrating, you're gonna die quite a few times, and it's not nice. Did you know that there is a much faster and safer way to do so? If you didn't, listen to this. Go from Ironforge, you get out of Ironforge. You follow the path, you pretty much go to Gnomeregan. Then, around here in the mountains, let's go number 5 at these coordinates. I mean, if that's a very useful add-on if you want to be using it with this leveling guide, because you will be able to see exactly where they are pointing to go. And then you go, there's a little path in the mountains where you go to the mountain summit, and then here you'll be in the mountains. But eventually the zone that you're in will switch from Dunmorrow to wetlands. And since now you're in the wetlands, if you die, you will be teleported to the nearest graveyard to res. And where is the nearest graveyard? Right beside Menethil Harbor. So you can get from Dunmorrow to Menethil Harbor in almost as fast as you can clap your fingers. And then what's going to happen? You're going to die, and then you're going to res at Barradin Bay. And the best thing about it, you're right here, and then Menethil Harbor is here. You res, you go from the graveyard to Menethil Harbor. You don't even have one single mob that has high level between you and then Menethil Harbor. The Crocolists are over here. So you are safe, you are getting the flight path at Menethil Harbor, and then you are good to go. Then you follow things, and then you're back in Keranos in Dunmorrow, and then you can keep going. For when you are level 12 or so, it tells you blah blah blah, okay, fly to Ironforge, turn in the quest, do your Paladin class quest to get your resurrection spell, redemption, and then blah blah blah. And then at level 12, you turn in your Tome of Divinity, boom, you finally get your res, and then boom, you fly to Menethil Harbor, you go to the dock, and then you go to Dark Shore, you arrive in Aberdeen, and everything is well. This is the kind of information that I'm talking about when I'm telling you that this leveling guide is by far superior to any other leveling guides that you might have seen so far. And the best thing about it, doesn't cost you $20 for unlimited access. It doesn't cost you $10. doesn't even cost you $1. It's absolutely free, and it will stay free because, I mean, this kind of knowledge has to be shared with the community. This is the kind of, this is the whole, you know, feeling and the whole thing, the whole aura around Classic WoW is just to be able to share that knowledge with the community and just make sure that everybody gets the best experience they can with this game. Because, I mean, when it comes to Classic WoW, you don't want to be sad, you don't want to be frustrated. I mean, there's going to be times where it's going to happen. I mean, if you wipe, or if you aspel and then you die and then you lose your advantage over another group of people or whatnot. But I mean, at this time, it's only related to the actual gameplay. You don't want to start causing problem to other people and just limiting their access to the information. And this is what Classic WoW.live is doing. You know, really giving as much, you know, big brain information. There's a lot of big brain people, like Kargos would say, that are in this community and that are bringing you this guide. So, guys, I mean, I don't know what I can say, but more just to tell you that this is the leveling guide that you should be using right as World of Warcraft launches, if your goal is to get to know where to go at what point. I mean, obviously, if you already have your leveling route planned out, use that. I mean, I don't want to be obnoxious about it, but just if ever at some point, you know, around level maybe 20, 30, or maybe later on, you know, it starts to be more of a gray zone. You don't really remember, you know, exactly where to go and where to pick some quests in the right order and stuff like that. I mean, this is obviously going to be a very awesome tool to allow you to, you know, just avoid having to do some back and forth that is absolutely useless. Because I think this is one of the most frustrating thing about this game when leveling is when you realize, you know, I don't know, you go from Aberdeen to the Grove of the Ancient, but then you realize that, oh man, your bags are full. You forgot to pick up a quest, you forgot to pick up an item, or you forgot to talk to someone else to get something. And then you have to walk, you don't even have your mount yet, but you have to walk all the way back to Aberdeen and then all the way back to the Grove of the Ancients. This is the worst feeling that you can have. Or maybe it's pretty close up there with, you know, getting ganked by a row or something like that. But I mean, this guide obviously helps you, you know, remember, you know, what's the right order in which to pick quests and when should you skip those, and so on and so forth. Because there's quite a few quests where it will tell you just skip them because, you know, it's not worth it. You need to go out of your way just to complete it or whatnot. So there's a lot of very good information. This is also another thing, you know, it tells you when to save up, because because there's also a kind of a cooking guide integrated to this, because it's going to tell you here and there to cook some stuff, because cooking is obviously very important. And it's going to tell you at here and there, you know, when to train for wool bandages, for silk bandages and stuff like that. So it helps you with those two secondary professions that are absolutely mandatory if you want to get the most out of the game and if you want to really have a smoother experience. Because with cooking you can get some very nice food that gives you a welfare bonus, and then with first aid you can heal yourself if you're not a class with healing spells, and you can also just increase your mana regeneration by using a bandage instead of using a spell. So then after you're all bandaged up, I mean, you can keep going. And I mean, I just want to show you something here. I think it's at level 15. This is something that I didn't know about, and it's the best nugget of knowledge in terms of saving time for your leveling journey. I mean, obviously you have Eastern Kingdom and Kalimdor. You went from the south of Eastern Kingdom all the way to the north of Kalimdor. So you're at the complete opposite of the world at this point. You know, northwest versus southeast, obviously. And to get from Ashenvale back to, you know, Sentinel Hill, where it will bring you in just a second, we will go over that. How much time does it take you? From Ashenvale, you need to take the flight path all the way back to Aberdeen. From Aberdeen, you go on the dock. You need to wait for the boat. You take the boat. It takes you to Menethil Harbor. You get off the boat, you get off the harbor, you take the flight path from from Menethil Harbor to Iron Forge and then to Stormwind in one trip, but it will still get to Iron Forge and then to Stormwind. And then since you haven't been in the leveling guide, you haven't set foot in Westfall already, you need to go from Stormwind all the way to Westfall. How much time does that take normally? Let's be conservative, let's just say 10 minutes. Did you know that 10-15, okay. Did you know that there's an even better way to go about it? Let's go through it together. I'm pretty sure you will be mind blown, okay? Because it's just fantastic. And then I think then after that I will have to go because it's almost 6. But we can go through this together later. Probably tomorrow I will have time to stream. So, I mean, okay, you get into Ashenvale, and the most important part is that you need to take some turn in some quests. But obviously you want to take some flight paths. Flight paths are the way to travel through the world. So always if you need to go out of your way to take a flight path, first of all, it's not going out of your way because it can save you a lot of time later on, but definitely do it. So now, okay, Bath. Okay, you die here, you res, you grab the flight path, yes, and then you go back. Just saving here 1 to 2 minutes is absolutely crucial, because if you can save 1, 2, 10, 5, 3, 1, 6, 2, 5, 4, 6, 1 minute repeatedly, how much time are you going to be able to save at the end of the day, or at level 60? If you can save maybe like 1 to 2 hours just by dying and getting some short wormhole, getting through like short wormhole just to get from one place to the other instantly, that's going to be fantastic. So then you go from Astronar, boom, you go all the way down into the Barrens. To the Barrens, next step, go through the unguarded border wall. There's one side of the wall that is unguarded. Then up the mountain. Here you have the sludge fen, but on the mountain range over here, there's a place where you can go up. And then what happens is that you get up the mountain and up and up and up and up and up the mountain, and it gives you coordinates, obviously. So this is why I'm telling you, getting the coordinate add-on is going to be important. To Nowhere. Tip, Guardians of the Galaxy reference. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say, but there's little nuggets of gold, like I said here. There's just little text, and it's really well made. You guys will enjoy that. Then, what happens? Destroy your Hearthstone? What? Why would you do that? Why do you think you would need to do that? Well, I can give you a couple of seconds to think about it. I'm gonna just take a sip of water. Okay, well, why would you want to destroy your Hearthstone? There's a very good reason for that. Obviously, a Hearthstone is it teleports. That is absolutely crucial, and why would you want to do this in this scenario? The reason is that there are standard or a default default graveyards for both the Horde and the Alliance. For the Hordes, it's in the Barrens, at the Crossroads, and for the Alliance, it's in Westfall at Sentinel Hill. So, if ever you are having problems and you don't have a Hearthstone in your bag, or it is on cooldown and you are stuck somewhere, I know, I should say that before. When you get in this area here, you are not considered to be in the Barrens nor in Ashenvale. You're kind of in between those, and you're like in a nowhere zone, like it says here. You're in a zone where you're kind of in the you fell in between the zone, and there's a very good reason why you want to destroy your Hearthstone. If your Hearthstone is either destroyed or on cooldown, and you're in one of those areas where you are not considered in the Barrens or anywhere in the world, and you die, what's going to happen is that it will teleport you to this default graveyard that we just talked about in the Barrens, at the crossroads for the Horde, and then at Sentinel Hill in Westfall for the Alliance. So this is where it gets like, 300, 400 IQ stuff. You get to this zone where you are considered nowhere, and then you are destroying your Hearthstone. You don't have to if your Hearthstone is on cooldown, because as long as you don't have a way to get teleported to the inn where your Hearthstone is set to, you will be teleported to those either of those default graveyards or those default zone. Because if you have a Hearthstone in your bag, or it's not on cooldown, what's going to happen is that you will get teleported back to this area, if I'm not mistaken. But then, if you destroy it and then you die, like it says, you use the unstuck feature because there isn't any Bob over there, and then you go to help request and then character stuck, teleport to graveyard. That's what's happening. If ever there's a bug in the game and you are stuck and you can jump out and you're stuck, that's an auto unstuck button that you can do, so it will kill you and then you will get to the nearest graveyard. But since you're nowhere, it will just bring you to those default graveyards. And like it says, just drag them all with you and then you die in the correct place. And you'll know when you're in the right place when it says left channel, general, the Barrens in your chat. Then you can confirm by /whoing yourself, or you can go into O for social and then the tab in the who, you refresh it, and then it will tell you your name, the level you are at the right, and then in the middle it says in what zone you are, but then it will say unknown. When you see this, like it says, you are good to die. So you die, and then magic. You res in Sentinel Hill. Just to give you a visual, guys, you go from here on the map where the pointer is, or so, and then you teleport all the way here. So, I mean, this is some of the, nuggets of gold, or, I mean, even better, nuggets of diamond or platinum, whatever you want to call it, that this guide has. It right away teleports you to Westfall. How awesome is that? Did you know that, guys? I mean, maybe you did. I mean, there's a lot of people that I've came across on my journey to, creating my channel and then posting content that are very knowledgeable about the game. So I'm not saying, nobody knew that but Navik or Egregious, the creators of this guide. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure there is now a lot of people that know that. So, I mean, this is some, like I said, 300, 400, 500 IQ stuff that, I mean, just saves you so much time, and it's just super clutch. So then, blah 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 blah, you turn in the quest and blah blah blah, and then you fly to Lakeshire, and then the cool thing about it is that if you click on a quest or if you click on an NPC, it will bring up the classic WoW head page of that NPC or item. And then at some point, yes, you just pick up another Hearthstone at the Innkeeper, and then you set it to Sentinel Hill, and then you can keep going. So, I mean, I can realize I just skipped over it, but I mean, this is the kind of thing that you will get with this classic guide. I mean, you're going to get so much information out of it. You're going to get so much value out of that. And, I mean, this is what I'm going to be using. And I want to use it from 1 to 60 to then be able to say, how useful was it? Where did it lack some information? Or where could it be better and stuff like that. I really want to be able to use it at 100%. Or 105%, really put as much, get as much as I can out of it, and I'm pretty sure that from 1 to 60, I mean, I've been blown away already from that leveling guide from 1 to, I think it was 30, that I did some preparation on it up until now. I worked on it from 1 to 30, and I've been blown away, so I'm pretty sure that I'm still going to be blown away from 30 to 60. So, I mean, it's just some food for thoughts for you guys. I hope that you will. I hope you will think about it. I mean, I really want you guys to have the best possible, and this is what I believe to be the best. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to use it, that's completely fine. I'm all about, just enjoying the game by yourself, especially if it's your first time playing it, and then you can use such tools if at some point, let's say at level 40, you seem to have 0 quests in your quest log and you don't know where to go. That's obviously something to do, but I mean, if it's your first time playing the game, enjoy as much out of it, because you don't want to rush it and then just be like, I wish I could have spent a little bit more time just to enjoy the lore and the immersion in the game. So, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for showing. I hope the sound was not a problem, because apparently there was some echo, probably when I was closer to the microphone. So hopefully you haven't had hearing problems by listening to the stream. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming all of my leveling process from 1 to 60 when Classic WoW hits. So obviously you want to be able to follow me on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm just gonna give you a quick. I'm gonna give a quick plug. So this is the Twitch. You have obviously the ClassicWoW.live. You have the ClassicWoW.live over here. You can follow me on YouTube. I'm just gonna plug it real quick, and then I'm gonna have to go. So thank you guys for showing. Thank you for all of your support. I appreciate it a lot. I mean, even if you guys are only 2 watching right now, I mean, it's better than 0. I'm not just talking to myself, and I mean, even if you just have me in the background, you're helping me, and you're giving me some support and motivation. And I'm telling you, on the launch day, I'm gonna have a little surprise for you. I hope that you will enjoy it, so you definitely don't want to miss that. And in the meantime, I mean, keep prepping for launch. I mean, keep enjoying, and just keep enjoying the hype, because I mean, I'm enjoying every minute of it. And I mean, when it's going to be done or gone, and we're going to be like 2-3 months down the path of Classic WoW, I mean, we will look back on here and we will have some good memories of it. So enjoy every minute of it, guys. I mean, we will see us very soon, and until next time, have a good one and stay blessed.